Let's go marching. Humanoid twisted advance. And Way might be debuting in the LEC. But he's about to debut with his death. Over to first blood for Jackies.
Realizes he could get dived.
Ooh,
Nice damage.
Execution passive. Close flash. Razork, that was clean. It's not a winning angle anywhere for Giant X right now. As the execution from the Thundering Bolt from downtown. And a chokehold over Giant X. It doesn't look close. You need a Severing Bolt. Odoamne dodges away and puts it back in though. Humanoid still chasing him. Hang on a minute. Finds him.
Welcome back to the LEC, everyone. I am here with Marek, and we're gonna do a very special segment because it's a lovely day outside and we would like to enjoy it. As it was great to have you win, Marek. How was that for you?
It was pretty good. I like to paint, so I'm happy that I got to do that on stage as well. Usually I just paint on my own after the games, but now I had to do it on stage as well, so it's fine.
I'm glad we can do this together and with everyone else watching. Now, Marek, what is your favorite Hwei spell?
My favorite Hwei spell is the QW. I think about it all the time, and I love to paint it as well.
Could you please paint it for us? And don't worry, the canvas, you can start. The canvas is your Summoner's Rift, however you imagine it. There are no mistakes here, Marek, only happy little accidents.
I'm gonna start with the blue circle, because we are of course using the skin. and that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna lie, there's not much more to it than the circle, but yeah.
Marek.
So, of course, you have to, for the new painters out there, if you want to mix some colors, you can do it like this, okay, with the green. To create a new shade, which you can then use. It comes from the sky like this, before it deals damage. So...
Ruined, 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 ruined.
There's also, let's add some red into it. There's also like some stuff like this around it.
Hold on. You did change the color of your brush, but I think, did you forget to beat the devil out of it?
What?
It's okay, just happy little accidents, it happens. Would you consider you not building a support item also a happy little accident, Marek?
It is a happy little accident, of course. There is no mistakes in games. I have never made a mistake. Just, yeah.
Again, you can keep painting. This is your Summoner's Rift. No one's gonna tell you where to ult, how to ult, if you missed your ult, if you played well, if you didn't. It's how you imagined it always. That is great. Can you please explain to us which spell you painted again?
This is the QW, the AoE long range, yeah.
And what does it do for our new viewers?
So it does a lot of damage on a long range, and does even more damage if you execute with it. Yeah, if they are low health, yeah.
Ah, perfect. And could you please paint something else for me, please, Marek? I'm gonna guide you through this. It's going to be 6 letters, okay? And you're gonna start from left all the way to the right. This is our world, this is our Summoner's Rift, and we get to do whatever we want with it. Start by painting a K. K. Then add an I next to it. Then an A next to it. Now, if you would like in our world, we could change line and go underneath. A P. An O. And a G. A happy, circular, squishy G. Marek, congratulations. You are the Kia player of the game for this game. Would you like to say anything about that or your masterpiece?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, you know.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for this fantastic painting. We hope to see you again in our next segment, which is going to be the pre-match of Mad Koi versus Rogue. Stay tuned, friends.
No, but honestly, thank you so much, Trouble, and Marek. Thank you, of course. That was amazing. We honestly, guys, we've been cooking this for 2 weeks now. We were just waiting for the first way, and I'm really happy that Marek picked it. It's been an artsy week for him, playing the guitar, having people sing songs for him, doing whatever he did here. He's an amazing artist. I'm not going to flame him, of course. But I'm happy we saw the first way in the LEC, though. Hopefully we can see this champion later on. But let's focus on what we have next here. Rogue versus Mad Lions Koi. It's not a pretty picture for Rogue, Trymbi.
Yeah, it's not the Rogue that we remembered, right?
Yeah.
From the 2022. And yeah, it is not nice to see, right? Even though they have games when it feels like they're doing quite well and they're getting the advantages from some lanes, it just feels like everything falls apart later in the game.
Yeah, and I think even at times there's just no advantages whatsoever. It's just a team that doesn't really move together in a fluid motion on the Rift either. There's so many times where I've either seen them go for and play on the bot side, and then they could call off the plate, and then Larssen would get free plates in mid lane, but instead both things happens at the same time. Overextension bot side, Larssen left by himself, and while he does get something, then it's like there's not the same fluidity in terms of how the plays are functioning for Rogue that there is on some of the other teams. And yeah, their mid game has also just been a bit disjointed too.
And you know some of these players, Trymbi, so what is the main difference? What strikes your eye when you look at the way they play now? Is it an issue with leadership, with knowing what the identity of the team should be like? Because these mid-game mistakes should not happen, especially when you know the caliber of players playing here.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to back right in 2022, right now it's pretty much Comp and Larssen that are still there. So looking at that, those are the two voices that you would like to look at. Like those are the voices that try to do stuff in the game, but as well with the new additions, right? That they have this year, they have to find their style, you know, their way of doing things, and it takes quite a bit of time, sadly, right? That's why maybe it doesn't look as good as we would like. But as we can see in so many of those clips, it feels like they're just getting caught off guard. Like, and it's not a specific player. That's the issue here. I feel like it's more as a team-oriented problem where it just doesn't feel like there's that clear of a direction, even though they have a goal that they want to go for. It doesn't feel like it's all already like structured, and they have like full reasoning and idea how to make and get this through, and then later do stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's what you're saying, like a lack of identity, a lack of leadership as well, which I would like to see coming from the more veteran players here in the lineup. And it's a completely different situation on the side of Mad Lions Koi, Guldborg.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of aggression in the early game. They are willing to send it, and it definitely...
We don't say send it anymore. 2024, I'm going to stop you right there. Please
Why
go
do I
on.
sound way older than I am as well when I do something like that? That's horrible. I think Mad Lions Koi is super exciting to watch because they are going ham from the get-go. I think the problem that they have then is sometimes, well, they'll have a game like they had yesterday where they just kept running it down in bot lane. They kept trying to overforce a play, and you can still tell that they're also inexperienced in this regard. I think they have the advantage, though, that it's better to be a team that's too aggressive and then learning how to fall back than a team that doesn't do anything and then trying to learn the steps there. So I think on the side of Mad Lions Koi, it's really just taking it more chill and to kind of explore different paths of avenues of what you can play for in the team. Because for now, a lot of it looks like Myrwn is isolated, Elyoya can be played for, and Supa can be played for. And while that works at times, it doesn't always have their set plays again and again and again. So it's like it's a bit all over the place sometimes.
All over the place, but also it shows that they can try things, and this is what you see in draft as well. When I feel like Rogue on one side is going to play more of the meta champs that they can't seem to make work, Mad Lions can take more risks. When it comes to the drafts today and how you think both teams are going to play into each other, what can you expect, Trymbi, on the side of Koi, especially, knowing that basically Mad Lions can throw anything at them?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to how I remembered it, at least, Rogue was always a team that liked to pick those early aggression champs, and they would like to play the laning phases because that's where the most benefits would come from. But looking this year, it feels like they've been struggling, while on the other side, the Koi is doing exactly what they would like to do, which is they're actually getting those advantages in laning phases, and then they try to make use of it on the map from the early stages, like going for invades, right? That we saw multiple times from them, as well as just the team fight that they just make it quite structured, and they didn't have the best team fights, right? But against a team like Rogue, I'm not sure if it will be, if it will even matter, honestly.
Two really different teams stylistically here that we have jumping on the Rift. So let's send it over to the casters for the game 3 of the LEC.
Thank you very much, Laure and the desk. I like Trymbi's last little bit there. He's like, look, there's all this stuff about the early game, but I don't know if it's going to really matter. And it's a fair question because we have two teams on complete opposite sides of the aggression spectrum. MDK, they're going bot at level 3 every single game. We know it. They know it. Everyone in the world knows it. And Rogue on the opposite side have struggled to go anywhere in the early game, sadly. And I want to see that change this week. And it absolutely has to in this game if they want to make a run for the top 8, for the playoffs. They are lagging a bit behind. We'll see if they can turn it around today as our players take to the stage.
Yeah, I think the big question mark is, even though you know exactly where Madeline's Koi are going to go, it's, how are they going to do it? Are they actually going to gank pop? Are they just going to invade and play for Elyoya like this? There's at least 2 options here, and that's what's throwing people through a loop, But I do think Madeline's Koi have had a good start to a lot of their early games. It's just about trying to keep that snowball running when it gets to that mid-game point.
Yeah, it definitely can be a little bit tricky, and we've also seen that if you shut them down in the early game, they certainly do struggle to recover. Against the G2 game, it was a matter of they built early leads and they weren't able to close it out quite as cleanly. And against BDS, it just feels like they never really got to get off the ground. A lot of their early plays disrupted, partially due to some really heads-up pathing from Shio. So see if Markoon can do something similar to limit Elyoya's impact in the early game. But also, to be honest, really curious about some of these individual lane matchups. While Mad as a whole don't really have the best win record as of right now, a lot of their lane phases, a lot of their individual performances still have these huge highlight standout moments, specifically around topside. Remember, one guy who's solo killing left and right, finding these big advantages. So even if they're not finding wins, I still want to see how impactful they can be in this laning phase, as unsurprisingly, double support item champions will be taken off the board.
I'm just surprised that they decided to ban both of those champions, right? It's like both Senna and Seraphine gone, because that's kind of the one that we've been seeing creeping up.
And Rob, we talked about this. I really think that you only have to ban the Senna here. She's really the only one of these champions that scales super well, that sets us up for success. It's Senna plus X in my mind. Every other pairing is pretty lackluster. That said, don't know what scrim pool they were in. Perhaps they saw some deeper cooking, another level of degeneracy around double support items that we're as of yet unaware of. The rest of the bans, though, will be pretty stock standard.
Yeah, it does mean that things like Nocturne will be left up and available. You've got the Varus is still open. I mean, Renata was even rising up in priority across over things like LCK and LPL, and even being first picked today in LPL. So I definitely think there are options still available. I don't think that's a miss. Oh, there it is. The Varus is going to be banned away. So Nocturne,
interesting.
I would feel like would work here for Elyoya, but well, I guess we'll never know.
Find out shortly. Keep you updated. Presumably getting draft back on your screen shortly.
This is a bit of a bop. This song.
Yeah, like we got that funk angle, with the PH and the O.
At the end. Okay.
Well, it's like normal funk, right, is FU, and then you got the PH. I mean, all right. Now I feel old. Explaining that made me feel old. Aphelios might have been locked in. We're keeping you on the edge of your seat. Oh, was it? Yes. Yes, it was. Locked in now for Supa. Makes sense. Again, pentakill. Pretty flashy. Looked pretty good. Opposite side is going to be the Milio and the Vi. So relatively straightforward champion, reliable, engage, and for Rogue, a team that again has been struggling to find those opportunities or feel confident in those opportunities. I like a champion that is a little bit more linear.
Yeah, I feel like the Milio is also just to try and steal away from the Aphelios Milio combo, which can be so incredibly strong. But I'm curious what the game plan. Well, the answer is going to be Blitzcrank, but also, I mean, what do you go for here as Larssen or comp? Do you go for something like an Ashe for comp, still having a lot of control on that bot side and being able to outrange the Aphelios, maybe a little bit more of a disaster with the Blitzcrank involved, but do you just want to go towards an Azir for Larssen, which has been his most played? I still think an incredibly strong champion, and especially for Fresskowy, probably going to go for something like the Nico here. I think it could be worth just trying to go for the Azir, but no, actually going to go towards the Akali instead, maybe opting into the Azir matchup if Larssen's going to go for it.
Interesting. Again, very explosive pick, obviously strong on the patch, even after the hotfix adjustments to some of the more impressive parts of it. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. It's a very aggressive composition. Aphelios, the first pick, said late game, said a bit of scaling. The other picks say, let's go in. Let's go hard. And there it is. Oh, folks.
Your favorite champion.
My favorite champion. Where is it going? Is it going mid lane? Is it going bot lane? Can it win a game at all? Still a question that we have answered 6 times already. The answer so far has been no.
Also, it's a champion that revolves around playing heavily for it in the early stages, getting and opting into a lot of aggressive plays in the mid game. Not exactly things rogues have been renowned for over the course of this split so far. So definitely going to be a very big change of pace, even with the Vi included in that as well. Like, this is, hey, we are going to try and match that aggression in bot lane. Now, good work against Supa and Alvaro, but definitely going to be a different pace for Rogue if they want to succeed with this combo.
Certainly. That is one way to kind of force the team to play aggressive, though, is just give them champions where it says, hey, do it in the first 20 minutes or lose the game very horribly and miserably. So, a little bit of a gamble, I think, from Rogue based on what we've seen so far on stage, but perhaps they had a bit of a meeting yesterday, figured it out, focused up, and they feel like this is the strategy that'll allow them to play a bit more aggressive on stage. The Azir taken away. Seems like they're pretty confident that Lucian is going into the bottom lane. Makes sense when you have the Milio. Obviously a very oppressive combination. Rel and Nocturne taken off the board, just limiting some of Elyoya's options here.
Yeah, I'm curious what Elyoya is going to end up going for then in the end. He's kind of tending more towards the fighters, like the Zinzao, we've seen the Viego. Maybe he just wants to fall back towards the Sejuani or even the Maokai, which I think is starting to rise up a little bit in priority. But it does mean that you're, which I don't think is the worst, because you are trying to play for a lot of these late game team fights with something like an Aphelios, but I think having something that can match somewhat the early aggression from a Vi could work out. But I don't really think you have a huge amount of options left, and I don't think Viego really fits with the composition they're going for.
All right, potential for an AD mid Lucian if they do walk in the Lilia here. Again, not confirmed to mid yet, but you would want some AD solo laners, but it's going to be an AP jungle option. LeBlanc, hit on the hotfix.
Still played today in LPL though. Night out a fantastic game on it, so definitely not out of the woodwork. That's not what I was expecting though. Okay.
This is such a throwback to Comfort. Larssen used to be, a big TF player, not something we've seen from him in quite some time, but obviously a champion where, hey, if you want to snowball that Lucian, showing up with a point and click stun in his lane is a damn good way to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's also, with Storm Surge and that, I've even seen a couple of clips from like Solo Q where he gets very fed, he pops off and just one-shots people. I don't think we'll get to that stage, but definitely a champion that can dish out damage with some of the new items, so gonna have to be careful. It is actually gonna be the Viego as well for Elyoya on the opposite side. I don't think it's the best of ideas because you're kind of now setting yourself up for Myrwn, needing to probably opt into some sort of tank or
you don't really
some
have
sort of engage.
A lot of ways to start fights. Your only CC setup is Aphelios Purple Gun, Viego Stun, which is pretty fake after the early stages of the game, and a Blitzcrank hook. Of course, in terms of tanky options, Cassante is there, but definitely not the traditional engage option that you often look for on the top side of the map. And now Rogue can decide on their final champion. Do they want something a bit more stable? Do they want something a bit more explosive? Will it be another Udyr?
Oh, this would actually be a bit spicy if we went for the Trundle, but I think you've got options. I was going to say, I prefer something that's a bit more fighter-orientated, and Aatrox works perfect there, because I think you've already got good engage and pick combo. Something that can now get the push on top side means you've got good push on bot, good push on top. Will have some control over mid, although it gets a bit scary around level 6 for the Twisted Fate. But honestly, I think you've got a very strong mid-game focused composition for Rogue. They just need to try and get that ball rolling early, and they should be in a good spot.
Yep. And of course, for Larssen on this Twisted Fate, 9-3 in LEC. Last played it in Winter last year. So see if he's ready, if he's ship-shape, if he's ready to go. I will say for the side of Mad Lions Koi, having very little CC against Milio, who has the built-in cleanse, is going to make this one tricky. Now, we know they're a scrappy team. I would not be surprised if they get off to an early lead, or early start. But they definitely need to keep it going. They need to clean up that mid-game and bring it home quickly, because as we get later in the game, this one's going to be hard to play from even footing.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Rogue want to try and get the ball rolling in their favor early with Larssen, and then kind of just turn it into a see champion, kill champion kind of game. It's, hey, Vi can go in, Twisted Fate can go in, you're looking for people who are separated, and a huge amount of that will be, can we get control in the early stages to get towers, start to push vision in onto the enemy jungle so you can actually look for those picks as this 2-3 man unit. But we'll have to see if this is going to be the case, because if you mess up, there's a lot of damage that can be brought back to the other side.
Certainly is. Here we go. Game 3, day 3. Rogue, can they bring it back? Mad Lions Koi. Can they cinch top 8, or at least get one step closer? They're not quite there yet. And of course, Rob, we talked about it already. This matchup feels a little personal. It's like staring down your ex on the opposite side. Rogue, they used to be Koi. Mad Lions, they used to be just Mad Lions. Now they're Mad Lions Koi. And that's gotta hurt. It's gotta sting. I bet Larssen liked being Koi. But now...
And I'm sure he liked being a young, new hotshot on the Rift as well, but now that goes across the Mad Lions Koi.
It's tough. It's tough out here. See your man with someone else, How are you gonna fight back? How are you gonna step up? It feels a little personal.
You bring out the champion that shoves gold in their face and says, hey, I've got a ton of money. Apparently that's the answer for Larssen.
Ball out, buddy. There it is. A little quiet level 1 here. Pretty chill, all things considered. Whenever you see a Blitzcrank in a game, maybe it's just the solo queue trauma speaking, but I always just get nervous. I'm ready for a crazy level 1. Don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm ready for it.
It's kind of like this weird meta trend where it's like, now because everyone expects it, you don't do anything. But then it's got to like flip onto the opposite side where it's like, oh no, everyone's got, aren't pushing anything too heavily for this, so we'll go for all the invades again.
Yeah, it's like listening to a professional poker player explain why they decided to stay or fold or blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, okay, last time they did this, but I know that we know. And we know that Markoon has started red, so it looks like he will be pathing down to the bottom side. Again, no real CC setup in that lane, but there's an Ignite available for comp. So an aggressive bot lane setup here.
I mean, it makes sense. Milio's going to take the heal 9 times out of 10 because you don't really get much value out of the cleanse. You're already hooked in if that's the case. Ghost don't really need either because you get the speed ups off your W and you kind of want to be hitting with your ults anyway. So the Ignite just gives you a little bit more threat in lane. And if the kill is going to come, it's significantly better than it going to Zoelys. But I don't think we'll have too much in the early stages. Mostly it's going to be a case of trying to crash this bottom wave to reset it. Just as Markoon is going to clear out his top side and make his way down to this bottom lane. So kind of looking for that third wave crash and making sure that you're not getting hooked underneath the tower by Alvaro.
Yeah. And of course, reminder that TF has been, as long as Akali has been reworked, a pretty solid answer into the pick. Can be difficult to disrupt her completely, but you can ult to reveal her in her Shroud, which takes away so much of her skirmish potential in a lot of those mid-game fights. And as you get later into the game with a Rapid Fire Cannon gold card, it's pretty impossible for any assassin to play against Twisted Fate if he's not isolated and alone.
Yeah. There's also a lot of people just going for things like the Rod of Ages on him as well to get a little bit more tankiness, so just it's harder to get the one shot, but we've kind of seen just how scary Akali is on the current patch. She does a heck of a lot of damage, so especially as you start to move in towards like side lanes where you want this Twisted Fate to be able to push, you have to be so careful of making sure that you're warding out, spotting the Akali, and not just giving her a free kill and shutting down any sort of play the Rogue want to try and operate off of.
Nope. But you can see Fresskowy, early push in the mid lane, Elyoya coming in to back up. He's already a camp ahead. Markoon just now going to clear and tick over to level 4. Just in time to spot Elyoya, crucially. Stun going to go in. Alvaro on the way. Keep your eyes on that Blitzcrank hook. Where is he going to go? The knockup now comes through. Flawless CC layering. And what we say? They go bot. They go bot every game, but they make it work.
I don't think Markoon was looking at his champion because he walked directly past Elyoya and kept walking into River, and then it was kind of a little bit of a late turnaround. So I think Markoon trying to spot out what exactly was happening on that bottom side of the map, and it ends up costing him in the end. He doesn't get away.
That's a pretty big gold lead.
Yeah.
Not only are you going to grab first blood, you already got the crab. You can now reset, buy your items, go back to the crab on top side. It's going to start to feel like a bit of a diffy in the jiffy here shortly as Elyoya gets further and further ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you expect from Mad Lions Koi, though. This is kind of, as you say, it's been the go-to. Go invade on bot side, get yourself set up, and then you got a Viego who has a kill in their favor. Bot lane going to be pushing out well. We'll actually be able to contest this. No, Markoon going to smite it away, but I think the main thing is trying to keep Markoon now on this top side, and it makes it very difficult for Zoelys and comp to try and play aggressive on this Lucian pick, and opens up for Alvaro to try and go for these plays.
Step up. Ignite now going down. Hook is going to go in and connect. Cozy Campfire mitigates some of that damage, but it's priority on the bottom side for MDK. That's big.
They're just going to go for the reset at the moment. They were a reset down. So Comp coming back and Zoelys coming back in. Well, Zoelys has a reset, but Comp coming back into lane and immediately taking half his health bar is not exactly where you want to start this one off. So Supa and Alvaro now going to be able to go back, pick up their own items, move back in. And again, you're looking to see can Elyoya now start to, as this big wave has just crashed, catch the bounce back and try and look for a play on this bottom side.
Yep. And an early boots 2 back going to feel very impactful in a lane against Lucian. Lucian only double longsword, not able to finish the lethality, the serrated dirt. Really going to cost him for some of those trades is
I'm not really sure why we're seeing a Blitz and Aphelios up in this top side at the moment. I mean, look, I can get trying to get these early Void Grubs to try and take them away from Larssen and Szygenda, who want to try and play a little bit for side lanes, but feels like a bit of overkill to now start giving that opportunity to... I was going to say for Lucian to start hitting onto the bot lane turret, but it looks like he doesn't want to try and take the place there. Instead, he's just going to match the rotation. But if I'm Supa, I just push this wave in. I was going to say push a little bit faster, and then you can just reset down to the bottom lane and look for Dragon off of the quicker crash.
Alvaro has the setup already. Now Comp's going to be in trouble. Immediate stun now coming through. Cozy Campfire. A little bit of warm hugs. But the wave now getting stacked here. Supa setting this up nicely. Second wave now coming in. Are they going to go for the dive here, or just be happy with a little bit of a positive trade?
Yeah, I think you just rotate back and you just look for Dragon, which means you get Void Grubs and Dragon. I think matching here from Rogue was a bit of a mistake because you can see now reset comes through for Supa. They're going to try and push out bot lane. I imagine Crash from Myrwn's going to come into the bot side. He sets back as well. And now the rest of Mad Lion's Koi just moved down towards the Dragon. So I really don't understand why Rogue tried to match instead of just taking plates in the bot side for themselves.
I mean, it's tough when you pick the Lucian lane, right? You really want to be able to win on that 2v2. As Myrwn now getting aggressive. Fresskowy debating if he even needs to step in here. Ult for ult trade, already pretty positive. Alvaro on the bottom side, ready to throw out the hook if he needs to, but for Elyoya, knows that he has the safety now to approach the pit, take this Dragon. Markoon on the top side, doesn't look like he has been spotted, but still knows that the bot lane is there to support him. They have a man advantage, so they will grab both objectives, crucially.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the comp is basically just chasing Mad Lion's Koi around the map, so Supa isn't really being punished in the lane because he's managed to, well, pick up top lane farm completely free. Now he's going to move bot, pick up this wave as well, get to crash it before Comp and Zoelys can actually threaten him on the wave. He'll even get a plate for himself, whereas when you look at Comp, he hasn't. So you can see the 200 gold lead being picked up there for Supa. The downside is it is Myrwn who's kind of lost out a little bit because he has to lose a wave on that top side as it crashes, but for K'Sante to lose a wave, it's fine. If Supa's just getting time to farm and you're getting both objectives, like Mad Lion's Koi are winning heavily on that trade.
And again, we highlighted Lucian, sometimes an early game terror, very often a mid game terror. 1 items, 2 items can start to take over a game. Hook not going to connect there. Alvaro just fishing, anticipating a bit of a sidestep. Bad guns from Supa here means that if Comp wanted to try and get aggressive, this would be an okay window of opportunity, but the level discrepancy right now between carries makes it tricky. Elyoya waiting, ulti up and available.
Akali's on the way as well. You got Bai, Markoon, and jungle. They want to try and make this quick.
Elyoya debating. If he stays here any longer, he's going to have to pay rent. Knockup now coming in. Follow-up CC is there. That's going to be 1 dead support. Immediate follow-up from Supa is clean. White Gun's coming in. Chakram shredding Comp. Markoon there just to witness his support die.
And especially with Fresskowy being able to move down. It's just an easy pickup for Mad Lion's Koi. Larssen will get the crash in mid, but wasn't able to follow with the ultimate. Didn't feel comfortable moving down, so quick pick for Mad Lion's Koi, and even against the Twisted Fate, they're still coming out on top of those side lanes.
It's looking very good.
Yeah.
300 gold lead in the jungle, despite Elyoya spending so much time there on the bottom side. You can see the experience is relatively close, but has now gotten his bottom lane ahead. And this is going to be tricky for the side of Rogue to find a way to fight their way back into this one, because again, they're pretty reliant on that upfront CC from Larssen or Markoon, and they just have not been able to participate in the game yet.
Yeah, I think you need to get this wave crashes, Larssen, reset, get your mana back, and then as you come back into mid lane, try and bring Markoon into mid lane, so then you can get the wave shoved in against Fresskowy and then start to lean into this bottom side. You can see bot lane should be able to push in the wave, crash it, and then try and set up for a play here off the bounce back. So I think this is where in about a minute and a half minute's time even, we'll see the play from Larssen at the bottom side, but they need to make this happen early or it's just going to be an absolute disaster.
Good news is Larssen backs, buys the Roa. Will have much more mana to just kind of infinitely push this wave as he gets a few more levels under his belt. About to tick over to 9, so max rank in the wild cards presumably. Maybe can start to fight back as again the ulti coming in here looking to punish on the Blitzcrank. Alvaro surely just going to get knocked down here, overextending a little bit, disrespecting the potential of the Destiny there.
Disrespect big time. The fact that you're that far into the jungle and you get spotted where Mad Lion's Koi aren't really in a position to follow. Now it's going to be Rogue starting this up, but you can see where their bot lane is. Rogue are all stacked on this top end and Mad Lion's Koi have to be careful.
Zoelys once again just going to get burned down. Didn't have the vision necessary and will finally drop. Maybe gonna get the reset coming in from Elyoya, but he's already been knocked down. Fresskowy in the Shroud. There's no ability to knock him out. Larssen with the gold card. Supa now immediately gonna cleanse. Myrwn gonna keep him going forward. The turret locking down Szygenda, doing so much damage. The Cassante in the back line. Supa coming in just in time with the gun swap. The blue ulti to bring it back. The hook from downtown. Just a punch to the face of Larssen. And they're gonna get 5 on the buff.
Rogue spent so long hitting nothing that Mad Lions Koi were just consistently able to get their DPS off. And look at Supa now, 4-0-1. He's going to be able to push in this top wave, more than likely get another play for himself as well off the back of this. Mad Lions Koi come out big on that play.
Supa Aphelios, man. Got me feeling some kind of way. Look at this play again. Zoelys caught out at the start.
But this is where I'm like, okay, Zoelys has tanked essentially everything. He should definitely be going down, but the rest of the team can follow. But when you look here, as they go in, so Markoon manages to pick off Elyoya. The damage from comp isn't really hitting onto Fresskowy there. Oh, actually going to come back to life.
Done.
Yeah.
A little rage in the cage here on the top side of the map. Markoon got no business stepping up. Larssen has a gold card, but he's not going to get a chance to throw it. Root coming down onto Markoon. And he gets dropped just like that. Supa 5-0-1. We are 11 minutes into the game. He is unstoppable. Zoelys, you're going to get a nice kick back here, but they're just taking their time on the tower. Knock him now going to come through. Alvaro tanking. Zoelys going to back away. Root can get followed up there by Supa, but he'll opt not to. Larssen is a bit of a threat here. Have to be careful.
Supa doesn't have the best of guns as well. Wants to try and get rid of this red gun so he can access to Fernum and also having the Gravitum so he can look for a lot of that CC. He seems spamming the Q on the wave to try and get through it, but I don't think they'll be able to follow through. Vi coming up in the area as well. They're just going to back away and try and, well, I was looking at Fresskowy there, thinking of moving down to this bottom side with Szygenda overextended, but I think at the moment Mad Lions Koi just happy to get more gold onto Supa. He's just backed up to picking up 3 kills now in the last few minutes.
And this is going to be tough to play out a lot of these fights. He is an Aphelios without a traditional enchanter, without a control mage to protect him. So there is a world where you get a Vi ult in, Larssen comes in with a gold card, and there's just 0 counterplay. Yes, Supa has cleanse, but it's not always going to be available. So it's not impossible for Rogue to navigate this, but certainly the lane matchups and a lot of these skirmishes are going to be tough if they can't start it off with a pick.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to be like, hey, can Myrwn try and keep the follow-up off of Supa? Because say you end up with a gold card onto him, he has cleanse, should be able to step away. I think it's more so if a Vi comes in and then you get Comp who's able to get some damage on top of him, or even an Aatrox coming in over the wings. But if you can try and play keep away with Blitz being able to peel, with hooking people off of him, or Myrwn being able to use a W to keep people away, or even his ultimate, that's where Supa will be able to thrive. But as long as you're not by yourself, which Supa has not been all game long, I think you'll be all right.
And you can see there when we look at the damage dealt over the course of the entire game, Supa really doing a lot of work in these fights. Szygenda on the opposite side as well, doing some good damage, but he is laning against the Cassante. That's going to be the ulti, but no immediate follow-up there. Zoelys coming in with just enough healing to deny some of these picks.
Just going to keep putting pressure on this bottom side. Pushing mid means that now Fresskowy's free to roam as well, so Alvaro being a little bit more brave. Pushes Markoon away, which only isolates his bot lane even more.
Guard for Markoon. Super good guns if they do want to force the dive here. Dragon already down, so there's not really a whole lot to play for, and they don't want to fully commit for the dive, so they're just going to assign Fresskowy to bottom lane, put Supa back up into the mid lane to catch that wave, and reset. Take an opportunity to buy a few more items. It is Kraken Slayer are already available for 2. Myrwn, unsurprisingly, getting the worst end of a lot of these trades. Always going to be tough against the Aatrox once he has a bit of additional healing.
I think Myrwn's fairly alright with it though, because when you look at the rest of the map, it's just so heavily in favor of Mad Lions Koi.
Like, credit to Szygenda.
Yeah.
37 CS lead. He's doing everything he can, but now there's a TP topside, and I don't know how much longer he's going to have that lead. Myrwn now getting aggressive. Fresskowy now following up. The one strong point for Rogue starting to fall apart, but he's still healing. He's still standing strong. Q3 comes through, and he gets taken down. Clean play from the solo lanes of Mad Lions Koi.
And now Rift Herald is there, so they could just go for the TP play to the top side to make sure they're able to get presence on towards this Rift Herald. Still not certain. You want to go for maybe they're looking for another pick right before. Make sure they can get this wave in mid pushed out a little bit before they go for it, but it's still a great timing window for them to make that play. As I'm kind of surprised to see Alvaro back though. I thought they'd try and make something, but with TP available on
now
Szygenda
coming in.
Oh,
I don't know if this is it. Larssen now flashing out to safety. He doesn't hit anybody, but now that's the ulti going in. He's been marked up. Green gun coming in, not quite going to finish the job. Okay. 80% of comp in Larssen's health bar. But they will make it out. They will lose some flashes. That was not a good trade. And now the top lane tower is going to drop as well. That is crushing for Rogue. Finally finding the confidence to make that move, and it was just not the correct one.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what the game plan was there from Rogue, to be honest. They saw the Blitzcrank was right beside them. They knew the Fresskowy was in the top lane, so maybe they thought they'd just make a pick, but... Yeah, we kind of said that they had to get ahead in the early stages, and the wheels had come off the truck long ago for Rogue. This is not looking pretty.
Yeah. And there was a world where if the Lucian didn't get, if the Lucian got a little bit ahead, things get so much easier to just point and click these champions down. You highlighted it in draft, see hero, kill hero. That is the power of Vi and TF on paper. In reality, they've been the ones getting, knocked out on sight. 0-3-2 for Markoon, 0-1-2 for Larssen. Only 2 kills total. Yeah, they have 100% KP, but not a lot getting done. Myrwn now the center of attention here. Don't quite think that they have the damage. Have to be careful about stepping too far forward. He does not have ultimate Q3 up and available. Markoon, nice sidestep on that one. So he's still going to hit the hook. Ultra Mega Fire Kick, not nearly enough. Still marked by the E2 from Akali, is now finally going to go in. Fresskowy now following up. Reset coming in, Elyoya. Ready with some warm hugs for the remaining teammates.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say bring in more members, because that tower is not going to survive. This is going to be a 4 versus 5.
Oh my god, it's a rage in the cage on the bottom side. Tower already down. Hook's now going in. Szygenda, maybe you can turn to keep your eyes on that Aatrox. He could be big with the Q3. Massive damage. The follow-up not quite there, though. Fresskowy now going to be in trouble. Comp has done nothing yet in the fight, but needs to unleash a bit more damage. But Aphelios is on the way out, baby. He's the getaway driver. Making it work. Supa standing. Gold card coming in from Larssen. The opportunity to turn. He has the cleanse. How flawless will he be? Instantly now coming out the root. Markoon overstepping, not respecting the turn, coming in. Possession there. Elyoya as Aatrox looking to fire back. That was a messy fight.
This is the moment in the Benny Hill music where it actually you swap who's running after the other person and it just goes completely disastrously. It looked good for Rogue, but they try to overextend. Now Alvaro's here and Larssen doesn't realize it.
Larssen has the gold card. Comp here to follow up. Can't do a lot of damage if he's empowered by Milio, but this was bizarre.
Yeah, I saw the so the Rave Tower goes to the charge, right? Which I don't mind. The hook goes wide, and then as this starts to go through, I suppose just a lot invested as this kicks off. I mean, Szygenda doing work in this fight as well, but you can already see Supa, he's pieced out. The second Mad Lions Koi call for that, so Fresskowy ends up being the one to pay for it, catching the ultimate of Vi. But as they start to go forward, Markoon not connecting onto Elyoya to get the CC that they need. And then the immediate cleanse here from Supa. And again, Markoon just being shy on his damage. But then you're able to turn this around so effectively. Markoon knows he's got the tower for safety, can't chase him down. And the massive amount of damage that Inferno can provide is just working so heavily in Mad Lion's favor.
And a lot of hiccups on both sides. Comp able to get down to full culling, but then did not auto-attack a single champion after that. Accidentally autoed the creeps. Fresskowy does go down, who was his target, so it doesn't hurt too bad, but you don't get too many more oopsies in a game like this. It's a 4K gold deficit. It's 3 Drakes for Mad Lions Koi. They're fighting, they're scrapping at every opportunity, but they are set up now to get the soul, and Rogue, I don't know if they're going to have enough in the tank to fight when it comes time.
I think the thing is, Mad Lions Koi are playing super well against playing around that twisted face, so they can't look for picks. They're constantly just dropping one lane, which is wherever Szygenda is sitting, and then just using Myrwn on him by himself in that one lane and mid lane, so the rest of 4 members can always group in that bot side. And if you ever try to overcommit in the bot lane, Myrwn's able to roam. Yes, you'll lose some Terran, some CS in the top end, but again, Myrwn just needs to play tank in the front line for Supa. So as long as you're trading effectively on the map, you're still going to be in a great spot when you look towards these next Dragon objectives or team fights. And that's where you just don't have the power anymore as Rogue to really contest them.
Yeah, it's really tricky. Really want to be playing for picks, really want to be bursting out one target, getting your cooldowns back, and then coming into a fight with a man advantage. Has not been an option yet. Szygenda obviously still the strong point for the team, but not strong enough to face check 3 people.
See the pings on towards mid lane though. They realize that the Aphelios has kind of been left alone, so I think maybe Rogue trying to see if they can find a moment to get in there, but you're looking at Mad Lions Koi just correcting themselves. It's like, okay, cool, we can leave the Akali up on that top side, start to shift over, keep multiple members within touching distance of wherever Larssen can reach, and immediately that moment for Rogue is just dissipated and they're back to their pushing waves.
Yeah, and as long as Supa does not have cleanse up and available, playing a bit more conservative, waiting to spot members on the wave, not stepping too far forward in mid lane, not giving avenues for Rogue to find those picks. So some nice discipline coming in from a relatively young squad. Not sure who's calling for this, not sure who's calling for the respect. It was really only one time where you know, Alvaro didn't expect the initial Destiny to come out from Larssen, so that really the only oopsie this entire game.
And I think overall, in general, Supa... Oh, hang on.
Or when?
That's Myrwn gone.
Q3 now coming out. He's just going to ghost away.
Yeah, a lot of members still here, though. They're on a ward. They don't realize that Markoon was about to step that direction. There's the hook anyway.
Hook in, they're just going to try to burn Markoon down so they can try and find the setup, but he's still standing for now. Warm hugs, and Markoon's still alive. The passive, though, not quite enough to come through. Elyoya finding the reset. Can look for the Vault Breaker. Big pick on the enemy jungler. Does open up access to the Baron. Elyoya, very high damage build alongside Supa, who's a bit ahead of schedule with perfect guns to take the objective. They can just look to burn it down, and they are going to do so.
Comp was forced to reset. His Comp tried to go in with the Cully, and he ended up beating the Supa, who ended up turning a bunch of damage onto him. So now, TP coming in from Madeline's Koi. They're already in position. Larssen knows is going down. Has the Unsealed Spellbook, but no Smite for the Twisted Fate.
No,
oh, it's just what there.
Smite there, all eyes on Larssen. Is he going to be able to get over the wall? No, but yes, but he's not going to be able to get the objective. You got to respect the attempt, but it just all goes south. 6K gold deficit for Rogue. Madeline's Koi obliterating them in this mid game.
Not quite able to get in on time, and yeah, I think as this game starts to go on, it's just going to be the slow decline of Rogue. You just don't really have the teamfight power anymore. 1 and a bit items there for Comp, whereas you're looking at 2.5 now for Supa. Larssen, you're on this Twisted Fate. You've gone for this more tanky build. You just don't have the damage to provide what you need. And Madeline's Core just not giving you that inch to look for the picks that you need with this sort of composition.
And at this stage, compositional identity starts to fall away a lot because the enemy team is just so far ahead. And also you've just got an Aphelios who outranges, is going to make this siege so simple. Alvaro just standing or stepping up at all with hook off cooldown means you're going to have to back up, you're going to have to respect, you're going to have to play behind your minion wave, because if someone on your team gets picked, you very likely lose the game. Supa good guns for a fight. Good news for Rogue is that he has lost access to the green gun Calibrum for extra range.
What do you do here as Rogue? A hook from Alvaro is going to completely change it. You're staring down the barrel of a 1 in 5 opportunity here. Hook finds a minion. Rogue will manage to push them back, but for a team that wanted to start off significantly better than this coming into week 2, ending another opportunity with 1 in 5 would not be the best. But
certainly not, especially after they managed to beat G2. Alvaro, nice hook! Larssen not anticipating. Clean ult coming in from the Aphelios. It's a slaughter on the top side. Aphelios just clean in-house here. Elyoya going to get the reset. Ult right back out to safety. Myrwn still standing. Can just back. Doesn't have access to the TP, crucially, but it doesn't matter. 2 members down on the side of Rogue. Walking forward here would surely be death. Polling now comes out. Alvaro playing with a little bit too much confidence. Perhaps Szygenda now steps forward. Markoon now going in. Maybe they found one angle. Big shutdown. Markoon getting cut down. Fresskowy doesn't even get an opportunity to throw another shuriken. Supa going to come in and clean that one up. Should just be the end of the game here. 9 seconds on Larssen. Perhaps can go for an ult play into the back line to stop this from happening. So they are going to respect Larssen's respawn timer.
Dragon's up and available. That's going to be the next port of call. You see here, this is just sick from Alvaro. So already Szygenda tries to tank. Well, they go and pretend they're going for Szygenda. Larssen ends up tanking the hook. The knock up and the follow up is beautiful. And then even here, Myrwn getting the knockback as well. Finishes off Zoelys for the double kill on towards Elyoya. And at that stage, it's just so easy to start picking off so many more of these structures. That one goes right for Alvaro, which at least opens up a little bit for Rogue here to get one back for themselves. But I think it's kind of the signature at the end of a very long postcard from your ex, which is not a very pleasant one.
When MDK are all on the same page in these mid-to-late game scenarios, they're a terrifying team to go toe-to-toe against. Their team fighting, their execution so clean, giving a lot of respect to enemy cooldowns, recognizing the power of their own. I think just constant reminder of how impressive it is to see a team that was notorious in Movistar Riders for aggression domestically and in EMEA Masters, transition that so effortlessly in a lot of cases to the LEC stage. A lot of the times you come in, you're an aggressive team in your region in the LEC, or you're an aggressive rookie, and you just get skill checked, and a lot of those options fall away, but that has not been the case for MDK. Supa especially standing out to me in a lot of these games.
I think he's been really, really impressive. I mean, both in understanding how to play team fights, how aggressive to be in team fights, but even when it comes to laning phase, got caught out once or twice, but overall you can see he has an understanding of when he needs to back away, what's happening on the map, when he's vulnerable, and I think it's the makings of a great AD carry.
Certainly is. At this point, though, it's just a montage. It's just a highlight reel. Game was won a few fights ago. At this point,
I can't believe he didn't even get a penta. I mean, he called it a highlight reel.
God. All right, yeah, all right. A little high standards for a rookie already, I can see. He has the right guns every fight, Rob, and it makes me very happy. Myrwn, unstoppable. Not too many cooldowns burning there. Maybe they can look to keep this going. Guns, pull back on Markoon. He's gonna go down. Szygenda, though. Szygenda, the man that you have to watch. His Aatrox could be massive, but he's just gonna back away. Body block there from Elyoya, crucially. Larssen now going in, but he's out of mana. Oh, Elyoya's now on the hunt. TF has the blue card, though. He does get a bit of mana back. Backing now from Akali. Fresskowy can TP right back in. This surely is the end of the game. Szygenda, the Aatrox, the only strong member on the entire team. Can he turn it back? I think it's too much pressure for one man as the catch-out comes through. Supa spraying him down with the flamethrower, making it look easy. Rob, he wanted another penta. I'll tell you that much. You can tell. But he's not going to get it. MDK taking the time, but they will kill Larssen once more. Just to let you know, it's personal. And that's the glow-up, baby. New Koi beats old Koi.
Yeah, Elyoya said in a Rudy interview earlier today that was released, you know what? We want to send the ball home. And I think that was definitely a performance where he said, I want to send Rogue home, because that was a stomp. Rogue didn't even get a look in. They went for this hyper-aggressive, early game, well, level 6-centric composition, and they just could not get it to work. And as soon as Supa got that early lead, he just refused to let go. All they did was play around him. They did it perfectly.
Yeah, now we're in a position where the bottom of our table is two teams that are in just complete and total free fall. Rogue, again, optimism coming into the week, but weren't able to turn it around. Of course, it is still Mad Lions Koi's day, their victory, and their player of the game. Vote now at LEC on X for your key of Pog, top Myrwn, jungle Elyoya, or bot lane Supa. I'm an Aphelios boy, you know where I'm voting, but there's no wrong choice here. All those players played fantastically.
But I think that's the really cool thing about Mad Lions Koi is how good they are as a team, and to see that working, and now on this LEC stage is absolutely beautiful to see.
Certainly is. Speaking of beautiful, we're going to have a beautiful interview with Supa coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Did anybody suspect